Woo, child. Flo Rida is looking even better lately because he just won $83 million in a lawsuit against Celsius. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So it's been a while since we talked about Flo Rida, or as your grandmother would call him, Florida, because I don't remember the last song that I heard from Flo Rida.
The music ain't that great. I listened to it on the iPod.
But that hasn't stopped Flo Rida from selling out, touring, and doing all the things. However, I did not know that he had this pending lawsuit against this energy drink company, I guess is what you would call it. Well, it has turned out great for him because now he is $83 million richer. So as I told you before when we were covering the Chris Lee story, there were so many news outlets, and I get it, a lot of them regurgitate the same dealing. So I've been really going, when we talk about legal cases, I've been really going to the sources. People like, the Bravo Docket or Emily D. Baker or Law 360. And I remember Law 360 from my law firm days. So they were the first people that gave me an update in regards to this story. So I wanted to read from them because it's so, get your popcorn, go get your snack. It's story time. We have to break down what these things mean. And this is why I feel it's important so you have a better understanding. And some of this stuff you'll still be like, what? Because legal stuff are not so cut and dry. There are certain things that have to take place in regards to, for a case to have this sort of determination. And you'll see and we covered some of this when we were talking about the Megan Thee Stallion case. We were talking about how it's not going to be so open and shut. Thankfully, we were able to get a determination that a lot of people were happy about. Not Tory Lanez, but it is what it is. So let's just talk about this particular case. So this is what Law 360 is reporting, and David Minsky is the writer behind this article because we know what we like to do, cite our sources and the reporters. So David writes this: a Florida state jury on Wednesday found in favor of rapper Flo Rida, aka Florida. He's from Florida. In a civil trial against Celsius Holdings Incorporated, finding that the company owes him $83 million for breaking 2 contracts when it didn't provide royalties and company stock in exchange for promoting its products. The stocks are very important, so pay attention. A 6-person jury in Fort Lauderdale returned the verdict against Celsius, finding that the Boca Raton company did not hold up its end of the deal it made with Flo Rida, whose legal name is Tremar Dillard. Damn. It's always interesting when you find out their real names. So Dillard sued Celsius back in May of, not last year, we're in 2023, May of 2021, alleging it broke their contract and didn't pay him several 100,000 shares, of stock after reaching sales goals. All right. The rapper, who hails from the Carroll City neighborhood of Miami-Dade County. So I wonder, look, the jury did what they were supposed to do, but you think they were fans? Just saying, he's from their area. Anyways, so the rapper made an initial deal with Celsius back in 2014, almost 10 years ago, that provided him $300,000 in cash and $250,000 stock shares. Some of you might be saying, okay, that's a lot of money. And some of you might be saying, that's not a lot of money for a rapper in a deal like this. But it's the shares that people need to pay attention to. It's not always about the cash, y'all. It's more about the investment and the future of that investment. So he was also promised $250,000 stock shares, but promised another 250,000 shares if the company sold 1 million of, quote, co-branded products in 12 months, according to the contract, which had a 2-year term. Dillard was promised, Flo Rida, was promised an additional 500,000 shares if the company sold a total of 690,000 units of products. Pay attention to that. That's important. because this is also something that was discussed later in this case. So the two parties signed a second contract in 2016, giving him $500,000 advance in royalties and another 250,000 shares of stock. Dillard, Flo Rida, would receive more royalties when sales exceeded a certain threshold. The rapper argued that the second contract was an extension of the first, while Celsius argued it was an entirely new contract. Okay. I mean, they have to do what they have to do because they don't want to have to pay over this amount of money, millions of dollars. So the 750,000 bonus shares awarded by the 2014 contract provisions are worth nearly $83 million at more than $110 per share. And the 2016 contract damages amounted to almost $5,500. So John Ustall of Kelly Ustall PLC, representing Flo Rida, aka Dillard, argued in closing statements on Tuesday that the unit sales also included single-serve packets or sticks, you know those little things you put in little drinks, that stuff, of powdered drink mix. One of the contract provisions was met when nearly 2 million sticks were sold, according to Ustall. Ustall added that Celsius had to abide by the plain meaning of terms in the contract, which referred to the sticks as units. Ustall said if the company documents say unit when they are talking about sticks, they can't invent a new definition just for argument. Adding that the boxes with the multiple single-serving sticks are considered a display item. So, Celsius attorney Jose Angel Casal of Holland and Knight LLP said contracts were broken and Dillard, aka Flo Rida, only came after Celsius when its stock began soaring in 2018. Wouldn't you? I think both relates. Both relates. The womp 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 for Celsius and the check for Flo Rida. Okay, so they said that he only came knocking when the stock started soaring in 2018, reaching $117 per share in 2022. And because his money flow was interrupted due to the pandemic, a lot of people were. Restrictions on shows at clubs, because that's where he really was making a lot of his money. I know we haven't heard a song from Flo Rida in forever, but I never saw Flo Rida as the same when other rappers that are upon hard times, because I always heard that in Florida, he's still like selling out big shows. They said that's the only reason why he's here. Probably. He's probably like, well, I had this deal with you guys, and there's some legal situation here that says that you owe me money. So he was looking for all the money that he's owed from all the people that owe him. What do you do when someone owes you money and at the time you don't need it, but then all of a sudden you need the money? You're like, wait, don't you owe me such and such? Not me. Honestly, if I've given you money, if I've decided I'm loaning you money, I've already given you money. I'm not coming to look for it. But that's me. However, I would probably feel differently if a brand owed me money. Okay, if you owe me money is one thing, but if Nike, Puma, because a lot of you loved my Puma shirt the other day, or some other brand that I've worked with, Coldest, sorry, Coldest, if they owed me money, it would be a different situation. That's a whole other situation. I'm going to continue. Why am I yelling? Sorry. Money. Sorry. So Casal, who represents Celsius, says he argued that Celsius' success was a result of signing distribution deals, okay, including the Anheuser-Busch, and it had nothing to do with Dillard's promotion. Now, that's hard to determine. That's something that's hard to determine. So additionally, Casal, who's representing Celsius, argued that the individual units, including the boxes containing the single-serve packets that were sold to retailers, not the sticks sold to customers. So this is where they're trying to argue the case. What's said in the contract and what's considered a unit. All right. I feel so bad for the jurors in this. They're probably like, oh, damn, we got to kind of break down this contract and also is this considered a unit? Come to find out, they did consider it a unit. So they continue. It says the only thing that matters is how Celsius reports its products, according to their attorney. You can't change the rules of the game after the fact. The math is the math. Is that the same way? Is this legal mumbo jumbo of saying the math ain't mathing?
Period. Dot.
So apparently the jury did not agree with Celsius or their attorneys. And they came back with the determination that Celsius Holdings now owes Flo Rida, aka Mr. Dillard, $83 million. I haven't seen anywhere if they're planning to appeal this. I don't know if they can appeal this, but I'm assuming that they could. But run Flo Rida his money. Run him his money. This is what we always talk about. We talk about how let's let the legal process go through. Like I was talking about with the whole Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation. Let the legal process run through. Yes, we're going to follow all the information that's coming out from the courts. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm sure if there were attorneys watching this case and in the courtroom, they all would probably have had different opinions based off of the evidence and information. However, who knows? Maybe Flo Rida's attorneys and the contracts, they had solid information. And that was part of the reason why the jury came back and said, Flo Rida, here's your money. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. You know, there's another legal situation. Look, here we go, talking about sports. That whole situation with Odell Beckham. He's suing Nike over a contract situation. Again, I know a lot of you will probably end up comparing that determination and be like, well, look what happened with Flo. It doesn't work that way, y'all. It's the contract. It's all about how your attorney has prepared that information and has given that information to the jury. If they do not convince them, even though it seems like plain as day to us, it's not going to be as plain as day. Just saying. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to this, and don't start hitting Flo Rida up in, or Florida up in his DMs. I hear you got some money. How you doing, boo? Guys, let's continue this conversation below. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.